Good morning, Marianas. I'm Troy Torres.
And I'm Danielle Baza.
Welcome to our studios here on the 7th floor of the DNA building. It is 6:11 a.m. on Tuesday, July 19, and when we come back, we'll bring you the top stories from Kandit and the Guam Daily Post.
As a defense attorney, I've represented many people who, if they weren't poor or they had received a higher education, may have taken a different path. As senator, I will propose a scholarship for those whose struggles are less academic and more financial. Let's keep our university full, not our prison. I'm Thomas Fisher. I not only approved this message, I wrote it.
Paid for by Tom for Guam, Drake Diaz, Treasurer.
When our political forefathers and foremothers laid the foundation for the Commonwealth, they dreamed of greater opportunities for our people.
In 1975, when nearly 80% of the people voted for Commonwealth, they too dreamed for a better life, for themselves and their children.
Nearly 50 years after the election of hope, we have forgotten how to dream like our ancestors did.
They dreamed of taking pride in being self-governing under the stars and stripes.
They dreamed of new opportunities to make a life in these beautiful islands. Today, abandoned buildings remind us of foreign investors who rushed in to make a quick buck, who then left us with empty buildings, monuments to forgotten promises.
We feel shame for a Commonwealth administration that's being investigated for corruption.
If we are to be the islands of hope and opportunity that our forefathers dreamed of, if we are to regain our pride in being self-governing under the stars and stripes, we need to be courageous enough to dream again. In the coming weeks, we will share with you our dreams for our beautiful islands. My running mate, Layla Fleming Staffler, and I will also share with you our plans to turn those dreams into reality. Layla and I invite you to make this journey with us.
We humbly ask for your vote. Let's make our collective dreams a reality in the Sablon Staffler administration.
By doing so, we will bring back pride in our Marianas.
I remember Saipan.
This message is approved and paid for by the committee to elect Christina Sablon and Layla Staffler.
I remember Saipan. That's where my heart belongs.
welcome back. And that Linda's and Asiga looked pretty good. We've got to go to Asiga for some coffee and Linda's for some fried rice. In Kandit's top story last night, the Republican gubernatorial team of former Governor Felix Camacho and Senator Tony Ada are joining the call for the Leon Guerrero administration to use some of the remaining federal pandemic discretionary funds to pay out essential worker pay. The federal government compliments of the American taxpayer kept thousands of families from going hungry and losing their homes during the pandemic. Billions in federal funds ranging from an array of coronavirus relief grants to military spending kept the private sector afloat. Thousands received unemployment assistance benefits when their employers were unable to open shop. Even the government of Guam was able to pay the employees to stay home during the lockdowns, all thanks to federal funds. But then there were the other workers, the ones in the private sector who had to go to work even when infection rates were soaring, who were left in the cold. Grocery workers, gas station attendants, bank employees, hotel and restaurant workers, truckers and distributors, construction workers, telecom attendants, janitors, and many others who went to work at reduced hours and exposed themselves to the risk of infection from each other and their customers belong to a category of employees throughout the nation that Congress has dubbed essential workers. And because they were called to work during the pandemic, they did not qualify for unemployment assistance and other programs. When Congress appropriated to Guam more than $1 billion in funding for the governor to use at her discretion, among the key recommendations for usage of those funds was to pay essential worker pay. In a nutshell, it would have been a stipend per hour of work during the period other workers were receiving pandemic unemployment assistance, or PUA. Ms. Leon Guerrero's office has not responded to Kandit's question whether the governor will implement such a program. The Camacho Ada endorsement of essential worker pay joins a now growing call for the compensation, with the Michael San Nicolas Sabrina Salas Matanane team and Senator Jim Moylan also calling for it.
Senator Jim Moylan wants every taxpayer, regardless of income, to receive a $1,000 stimulus payment to deal with the cost of living. The senator introduced legislation that will amend an unimplemented law requiring the Leon Guerrero administration to issue a Recovery Income Support and Empowerment RISE Act of 2020 local stimulus. The original law, which Mr. Moylan has been pushing Governor Lou Leon Guerrero to implement and pay out, called for an $800 RISE payment to taxpayers who meet income guidelines. That law was amended by a law authored by Mr. Moylan and Senators Tony Ada and Chris Duenas that increased the amount to $1,000. Adelup has not yet responded to the senator's letter to the governor on the matter.
In a story by Nick Delgado in the Guam Daily Post, a decomposing body was found behind a residence in Jigo after police received a call of a foul odor Monday morning. Officers within the Guam Police Department responded to Tun Luis Anako Street around 8 a.m., according to GPD spokesperson Officer Berlin Savella. Police searched the area and found the body behind a home. Crime scene detectives, including investigators with the GPD Forensic Science Division, were present at the scene. The case is under investigation. Police have yet to confirm whether authorities suspect any foul play. No details have been released about the victim.
In a story in the Guam Daily Post, senatorial candidate Joaquin Ken Leon Guerrero has responded to Guam Election Commission Executive Director Maria Pangilinan, who wrote to him concerning voter initiatives he is working to put on 2022 election ballots. The letter, dated July 5th, outlines the 6 voter initiatives filed by Leon Guerrero as a private citizen. GEC stated that Leon Guerrero's initiative number 2 and number 4 are contrary to the Organic Act of Guam. Initiative number 2 proposes a part-time legislature, and number 4 proposes the Corrupt Practices Act, which seeks to allow taxpayers to sue the government and elected or appointed officials in both their professional and personal capacities if they violate laws or regulations, according to Post files. Pangilinan, regarding voter initiative number 2, wrote, "The Organic Act vests the Guam legislature with the discretion to determine the length of each regular session." She continued, "If your proposed measure were enacted, it would divest the Guam legislature with this discretion, which would be contrary to the Organic Act." Leon Guerrero, in his response, stressed that the initiative process is the tool provided to citizens that allows non-senators to create laws. The Organic Act, according to Leon Guerrero, does not specify that only elected representatives may pass a law.
In a story by Nick Delgado for The Post, officials from legal and law enforcement agencies gathered for a roundtable at the Guam Congress building in Hagåtña on Monday to discuss efforts to reduce criminal sexual conduct cases on the island. The discussion was led by the Legislative Committee on Justice, led by Speaker Terlaje. During the hearing, the Guam Police Department reported a total of 1,282 cases involving criminal sexual conduct between 2017 and 2021. Police Chief Stephen Ignacio said of those cases, only 547 resulted in an arrest.
Finally, Congressman Michael San Nicolas and Governor Leon Guerrero recently joined together in Washington, D.C. at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier to lay a wreath and pay homage to those who perished during World War II. Here's a video compliments of the Guam Congressional Office.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? I am Sergeant Strosky of the 3rd Infantry Regiment, United States Army, Guard of Honor to the Unknown Soldier. The ceremony that you are about to witness is the changing of the guard. In keeping with the dignity of this ceremony, it is requested that everyone remain silent and standing. Thank you. On your orders.
Post and order. Remain as directed. Order. March, no.
Ready, face. Right shoulder, off. Post. Right, face. Forward. March.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The ceremony that you are about to witness is an Army Honor Wreath ceremony. The wreath will be placed by Congressman Michael San Nicolas and Governor Leon Guerrero of Guam.
God bless Guam and the United States of America, indeed. On Kandit's agenda today, our top stories include the release of the gubernatorial platform for Michael San Nicolas and San Nicolas-Salas Matanane, a story about what Guam residents actually feel about abortion, according to a survey. Speaker Terlaje became emotional yesterday, defending patients' rights at a hearing at the Guam legislature. And our top story, a Torres cabinet official also has a lucrative sole source contract for a medical referral. We'll bring you these stories today.
Get these in-depth stories at candidnews.com and subscribe to daily news from the Post Guam, from the Guam Daily Post at postguam.com.
There is a debate tomorrow night here at the Kandit Studios, hosted by Kandit, The Point, and the Guam Daily Post at 6 p.m. Please make sure to join us for Platform 2022, the Lieutenant Governor's debate between Lieutenant Governor Joshua Tenorio and his Democratic Party challenger, San Nicolas-Salas Matanane. Also, we will be casting live the July 28 Guam Medical Association debate, which begins at 6 p.m. at the Hilton Guam Resort and Spa. And Ray Gibson and I will be commentators that night on the Kandit feed. We are proud to announce the beginning of a Filipino talk show on Saturday mornings beginning in August with Sally Aquino. And now we ask you to join us in turning our attention to 93.3 FM The Point, The Ray Gibson Show, also live on Facebook at The Point Guam. For Kandit News, I'm Troy Torres.
And I'm Danielle Baza.
Have a good morning.
Kandit, The Point, and the Guam Daily Post are proud to present another Platform 2022 debate. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio and Lieutenant Governor candidate San Nicolas-Salas Matanane. Phil Leon Guerrero and Montecillo Tyron will present topics and issues of concern to every Guamanian. July 20th at 6 p.m. everywhere. Broadcast, simulcast, and webcast on Facebook, Kandit News, and on the air at 93.3 FM and on KGTF. Platform 2022 from Kandit, the Guam Daily Post, and 93.3 The Point.
That this environment is for anybody that wants to try something new, whether it is CrossFit or powerlifting. We offer a safe space for someone who's never been athletically inclined to try something that they've never done before.